So it's happened all is the 26th of February, getting down to the very end of another freaking month. I can't believe that I've been at this organization coming up on 2 months. It actually has been 2 months now. And it just seems like we're just barely still learning. What's interesting is you can have an industry that more or less all we're doing is gathering documentation, stacking it into a certain order, verifying specific things, handing over somebody to validate, go to another place to prepare documents, get those documents, sign them, fund it, right? Seems simple, but everybody does it different. I'm finding out how different it can be. I've got coming up on 28 years in the industry, 28 years. And the first couple of years was I'm stumbling through it, trying to figure it out. When I got into this, I started off as a telemarketer in 1997, is December 97. And I learned it just by how to spit off, I guess, scripts to people on just a cold call list. And then from there, understanding when you get people and people would call in off of ads after my cold calling, things like that. And I started doing the LO thing. I got trained by a guy named Greg. Greg, you're awesome, man. Greg Sidoff out in Arizona. Badass brother. He's still actually in real estate, still getting stuff done. But what he did, he showed me how to do these applications and run calculations. But we're still kind of learning on our own. He was only a couple years in the business himself. And I've been at this as long as I have, coming into a new organization that runs things vastly different than I've ever run anything. I feel like that telemarketer situation again, learning all over again, even though I know more about my specific product when it comes to real estate investor loans. I know more about real estate investor loans, like I would argue, than anybody on this damn planet. I'll go Pepsi challenge against anybody when it comes to structuring some of these deals. The problem is not everybody's seen what we have seen. And that's where I'm really, really kind of wrapping my head around. It's not that I'm ignorant to the deal. It's helping people understand the deal that we're up against. So I appreciate the clemency that everybody has given us as far as my clients are concerned, because we're coming at things from angles like, hey, you've never asked for that. What do you want that for? Why is it taking so long? What's going on here? Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you guys for that. You know who we are. We know what we're about. Operate on efficiencies. We're staring at efficiencies all the time. The problem is you don't know where your inefficiencies are when you're still learning how to make it through that particular labyrinth that's laid before you. So I would say it's like, think of one of the best race car drivers on the planet, right? Absolute badass on the circle track. Then you put them in something like one of those open wheel cars where they got different curves and whatever else. They got to run it differently, right? He may be an absolute badass behind the car of a stock car doing the circle track, but then say, okay, jump into this Formula One and haul ass. He's not going to be the fastest on the track. We've got a pretty curvy ass track right now. So those of you who are looking at things being, what's going on with Chapman and his team? We're getting it done. We're learning. We're coming up that curve pretty quick. So we appreciate what you guys are giving us as far as clemency. Now, let me show you something else. You might go to my website, aaronchapman.com, and you're going to see things a little bit different. So let's go ahead and just go right there just so you can see aaronchapman.com. It's going to actually redirect to aaronbchapman.com. I own them both. So it says under construction. It's almost done because some badassery is coming. So you want to click here though, that white button, click there, and it can take you to our new landing page when it comes to the loans. Now, this is about as get those cookies accepted. This is about as decorative as we're going to get with this one. We've got to be pretty much, we're dressing in the inmate orange on this particular scenario. Everybody's going to look the same. So go to the apply now button. It's going to take you right to those spots, and that's going to get to where you're going to be filling out your data, creating the username and password, all those things. So that's something we want you to be aware of. We'll take you to there. We're not going to get real creative there. The creativity is coming elsewhere. I got a lot of creativity I've got to get. In fact, if you go back to aaronchapman.com, I'll go back and share that. There is a little bit there. I don't know how long that's going to last because we are going to get that new landing page up. But when you get here, you can still go to the media section, look at the videos that we've got cooking. We've done plenty of that stuff. I want you guys to be aware of that. We have tons in there, the whole history there. I think we'll probably have to even update some of it. And podcasts. If you get bored, you want to listen to podcasts, you can do these here. These two are the most recent. Got some more coming up real soon. But there is, you can go to Spotify. In fact, I've had somebody tell me they went to Spotify and they listened for a couple of days. So I don't know if you want to listen to me for a couple of days, but we got some stuff coming in the near future. I know we alluded to it before on the book side of it, but you're going to start seeing some of the artwork on the website. That's where I'm going to show it. I'm not going to display here. It's going to go on the website. So you can see the new artwork on the aaronchapman.com website. You want to go to the lending, you got to go to Aaron. Yeah, it's the CCM/Aaron-Chapman. So there's that. So let's look at the markets and see what's going on here. I'm going to make sure I've got the right one up. Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. Another quick share screen. A little quick interruption here. If you've got a good hard money lender in any state, I don't care what state it is, people that are good at what they do, really helps real estate investors, reach out to me. I'd love to get their contact information, kind of figure out what they do, and gather a little bit of a database, if you will. So shoot that data to me. Now, back to the rest of the video. So I've switched from the other process. We're going to use that other program that I was doing stuff with to edit, but I didn't like how I was putting the windows. We had some jump up, man. These last couple of days had some jump. There's been some money that flowed out of stocks, as you saw, went over to bonds, kind of like a safe haven, kind of figure, okay, what's going to happen here? What are we doing? The stock market is being cautious as they're coming into this. And so they're parking their money over here for who knows how long, short window, but we have hit this particular level, pulled back off of it. This could be support. It may end up being an ultimate ceiling, push this back down in here. Now, this is equivalent to probably about 5/8% in cost differential from here to here. Your interest rate's not going to move, but your cost might move if you were quoted something a few days ago to what your quote would be today. Now, not enough to be like, hey, let's try and see if we can get a better rate. It's not going to influence it much. But what we want to see is we're on the right trajectory. But where are we heading? Heading to this big ominous bastard up here. So we have other barriers that we'd have to get to. This barrier here, this barrier here. These have been shown to be places where there be some sells, or at least some sell orders. But we have the big son bitch right here. Now, why is this happening? What's causing the movement of money from the bonds, or excuse me, from the stocks into bonds? Well, you have the consumer confidence came out, and that was probably the biggest mover of the week. That's what pushed the big jump, was consumer confidence dropped significantly. So the confidence levels that were the readings that were going off of before, that was revised from a 104 reading to a 105 reading in January. Then you get now, and it's a 98.3. Consumers are not confident with what's going on. Now people want to start claiming, well, it's because of the president and the current administration doing all these cuts. Really? Because they're cutting fat in the government? I have a hard time believing that. What you also have is Powell saying inflation's still kind of out of control, and he's not going to do a cut coming forward. So people, they're thinking they're not going to resume cuts till like June. That was another article I was reading. So that being said, I think the confidence in people is because inflation's getting kind of high. And because inflation's getting that way, they're not confident in what's going to happen in the marketplace. So that's where things are they're planning on holding at, because of that hold power. Now, this is all speculation. I can be completely off on what I'm thinking here, but this is me just trying to read into the psyche of the humans here, what they're thinking. Because every single person, we've seen the charts, right? We've seen the counties that voted for our current administration, and that they have better coverage than Verizon. And in that particular, just the red all over the place, everything that's being done was what was voted for. We want to see this happen. We want to see them extract all this extra that's not necessary. Now, there's going to be some people that are going to try and manipulate one's mind and make them think, hey, maybe we're doing the wrong thing. I don't know. I can't say that it's going to work out one way or the other. I just think that we have had an enormous amount of money that has been used incorrectly. We hand over capital in the form of taxes, and that money that we're giving for taxes were supposed to be specifically set up for specific things, period. And that didn't happen. That's been intermixed. It's been intermingled. If we did that and intermix things like that, you would be under investigation. But that has, but we just seem to expect it when it's otherwise. Because of that, if we can get that under control, can you imagine what's going to happen to our economy? I think that we would have the confidence come back in a significant way. But then if our economy gets too crazy, what's going to happen with inflation? So this might be a good thing to really, we're going to bring inflation down. We got to get that under control. It hasn't been under control. For some reason, they keep bitching about the price of eggs. We've been burning up freaking chicken houses for years now. We can't expect the eggs go down in price overnight when you don't have enough chickens to produce them. That's just, come on, got to get more chickens out there. That's just the whole thing. But when you're burning down monster chicken farms, that's what's going to end up happening. So I think we need to back off the egg bitch a little bit here. So that's where we sit right now. Market's doing pretty good. I think we might be hitting some things that we're going to bounce off that, but we'll take advantage of every little bit we can get. If you have any questions about that, reach out to me directly. The schedule some time to talk in greater detail. Remember, the LLC loan, I still think that's the holy grail, regardless of what's going on with these Fannie Freddie rates. And these are the Fannie Freddie rates, guys. If we locked you on the LLC deals, that's not going to follow the same. They don't go from, that money doesn't come from the same place. This comes from one place. That money comes from another place. They're loosely correlated. So give me a call. We'll talk about it in greater detail. Hope you have a really kick-ass Tuesday, and we will talk to you on Friday.